Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to get underway. If everyone can find their seats and remember to enjoy the show. Thank you.
Well, hey everyone, welcome to Coming of Age.
Hello.
This is a nice little casual conversation today.
Very casual.
We feel so good.
Yeah, it's a great day.
We are outside under the Florida sky at night.
And
It's very dark.
we're literally sitting underneath the electrical wire that runs through my backyard.
Yeah, we are.
That if falls, we die. This is a dangerous episode.
Oh. It may never get released till it's too late.
It will get released. We just won't be around to enjoy your enjoyment. If that makes any sense.
Well, here's your ghostly host, Chase Cummins.
And Alan Loosebrock.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Smoking cigars and drinking wine. It's fantastic.
So we're doing. You're gonna see pictures of this, and we're sitting in front of what is gonna be our studio. So hopefully
We
soon.
just decided.
We literally figured it out tonight because I'm an idiot and have had this on my property for months,
I've
for a year.
had dreams of this and never told you because I was too scared.
We didn't communicate well.
I thought you'd yell at me.
Yeah, God damn it, Alan! Why the fuck do you want to? You always want to use my house.
That's my house back there.
Yeah.
What do you want to move in?
Yeah. What do you want to live on my property, but not in my actual home, just adjacent to it?
You don't want to be bunkmates? Come on.
We didn't live together in college. We didn't live together before college. You should just move in. What do you want?
It's why our friendship is still going.
Yeah. Everybody I've lived with, I don't talk to anymore. Except for
You live
one
with
person.
Ben.
And I live with
And Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I talk to them.
You're doing fine. Okay. Well, we are going to talk about Infinity War today, but I do have one thing I want to share. Is there anything you watched before that you'd like to talk about?
Yes, but I'm gonna let you start tonight.
Oh, thank you very much. I watched the HBO documentary on the Dana Carvey show. Have you seen that?
I have not.
I don't know if it's new or whatever. I haven't seen it there before, so I think it might be.
I didn't know that was there. So
It was fan-fucking-tastic. And it just talks about, like, mainly, like, Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert, like, how their careers got started on that. And, like...
really, on the Dana Carvey
on
show?
the Dana Carvey show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were like... Steve Carell was part of Second City, and he was, like, really fucking good. And Stephen Colbert was his understudy.
I knew that.
So they were scouting, and they went to go see Steve Carell, but he wasn't there that night. Stephen Colbert was there.
Really?
And yeah, and they were like, "Oh, let's get Stephen Colbert."
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Yeah, and then I think like he recommended Steve, like they still go see Steve Carell or something, and then they got him too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why Steve
and they had like
Colbert and
audition
Steve
tapes
Carell-
and stuff too.
Well, is that why both of them were on The Daily Show?
Yeah, absolutely. Like same thing. Like it's been like, hey, hire this guy. Like the whole time, like they've been doing that for each other. Like they're fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
It like shows their friendship, and it's really fucking sweet.
That's so cool.
And the entire show, I've seen like clips from the show, like sketches. Like you've seen it's Steve Carell and Dana Carvey, and they're like doing pranks, but like they're experiencing like the downfall of the prank, pretty much.
Yeah.
They like shovel old ladies' sidewalks, and they're like, "Hey, lady, we're all done." She's like, "How much was it again? 20 each?" And they're like, "Yeah." She's like, "Let me go get my wallet." And then they're like, and they just run away and they're laughing so hard.
I have seen that.
Yeah, like I've seen that and I've seen a couple others, but like they show you so much shit that I was like, oh my God, this was the Dana Carvey show? It's awesome.
That's so cool. I'm gonna have to watch that because I remember watching what you're talking about, them doing pranks, but it's like them at a fast food restaurant and then they pay for the food. And she's like, all right, let me grab your food for you. And then they just drive off and they're laughing their asses off.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's like, it's so
and they
stupid.
like buy movie tickets from Louis C.K.
Oh,
and
I
then they
haven't seen
just
that.
don't. It's the same skit.
Same skit.
You probably just didn't notice it was Louis C.K.
Yeah. That's
Or
crazy.
maybe you did and you forgot. I don't know.
It's
It
probably-
looks like Louis C.K.
It's probably the latter.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just buy movie tickets and then they just run away. Don't go see the movie. It's so fucking good. And
Such a
Steve
good show.
Carell is fucking like laughing so hard in it, which is like what really makes it funny. He's like got like fucking veins popping out and shit. It's so good. You're like, Jesus. And they talk about that too. They talk about like how much Steve Carell like fucking sold it. Like he went like fucking over the top because he was a huge fan of Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
And Dana Carvey hired him, and he's just like, "Oh shit! Like I have to impress my idol."
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Steve Carell is, Dana Carvey's a legend, so I don't want to diminish Dana Carvey's career, but Steve Carell's become more relevant, I think, than Dana Carvey ever was.
But Dana Carvey was a lot more relevant when we weren't really.
Oh, well, we were kids.
In the conscious mind to think about that kind of shit.
I know. We were children. Like it was the mid '90s when he was like probably the most relevant, I would think. But honestly, it's kind of the same with Ben Stiller. He was super relevant in the mid to late '90s, around that same time.
Everyone's
and they
got
both
their
had
time.
sketch shows. Yeah, but I would say Dana Carvey has kind of started doing his own thing and hasn't been doing shows or doing anything. Ben Stiller continued doing stuff.
Yeah, well, Dana Carvey's got a fucking family, okay?
So does Steve Carell and Ben Stiller.
Well, he cares about him more.
Probably. That's probably true. Maybe not with Steve Carell, but definitely with Dana Carvey.
But you should totally fucking watch it. It's so good. And so the show used to get like, it's like a callback to old shows when they would like be sponsored by shit, you know, like brought to you by Alka-Seltzer, like shit like that. And they would like be like, there's like Taco Bell Dana Carvey show, like the Taco Bell Dana Carvey show.
Really?
Yeah. Like Mountain Dew sponsored them and shit. And by the end, when they were like about to get canceled, like it was spiraling so downward that there was just like a Chinese restaurant that sponsored one of their episodes.
That's
and they like did
hilarious.
it. And, like it was honestly funny as shit.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
It was so great.
But that's back when that was the model. That's how you made money. You had to have sponsorships. And then
Yeah, but you don't call it you don't like do skits about the fucking sponsors.
No, I know.
And like
that's somebody who's like sick of that model and they're going, well, we have to do it. Let's just have fun with it. And
no, it was his idea.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But I'm saying he's like, let's have fun with these like we have to be sponsored. Let's have some fun with sponsors.
No, I'm saying that he's like, we'll get the fucking sponsors. Like we'll we'll go out and get the fucking sponsor.
It probably gave him a bigger budget.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for doing that.
It was great. It's so fucking funny.
That's awesome. I've not watched much of that show at all.
He like really wanted to make like Monty, like he loves fucking Monty Python. He wanted to make a show more like that.
That's what it reminds me of a little bit, though.
It's so good. But anyway, yeah, it's a good thing. You should watch it.
That's great. I'm gonna watch that. Well, if I am gonna talk about anything, I've been watching. There's a lot of things I've watched.
All right.
But since we're not going to. We're going to pick one thing. I'm going to talk about the show.
We can talk about whatever.
All right. Well, thank you. I will probably bring something else up then. But I'd like to talk to you about The Terror.
The Terror?
The Terror.
What is that? I feel like I know what that is.
So I might have mentioned it to you before. But
Go on.
It's a horror show. It's like one season, so it's like I would call it almost a mini series. And people are saying that they should bring it back and be like an anthology thing, but it only honestly works with this one mini series. And it's a period piece set in I think the 1840s, like almost 1850. I think it's either that or it's almost 1870. I'm pretty sure it's 1850.
Okay.
And it's these two ships trying to find the route through the Arctic Channel, like the Arctic Pass. And
oh yes, you have talked about this.
yes, and it's like they get their captain makes a bad decision and they get like stuck in the ice for like multiple years because the water freezes and it doesn't dethaw like it should.
Yeah.
Over the course of a couple of years, so they're literally stuck in this channel, and they have provisions to last them like 3 or 4 years, but the ice isn't melting, and then a giant fucking crazy ass fucking monster who's like has something to do with the spirit world is killing them off, and it becomes it's slow burn as fuck, and it gets so
what year
insane.
was this made?
This year.
Okay, yeah.
It's British. It's got like Jared Harris and Ciarán Hinds.
Oh, bloody Jared Harris!
Bloody Jared Harris. It's Richard Harris's son.
Wow, I love him.
He's in Mad Men. He's in Mad Men on AMC.
He's in bloody Mad Men.
He's in bloody Mad Men. He hangs himself in Mad Men.
I don't know what accent that is.
It's one of the British
It's
accents.
a dirty man.
He's a dirty man. He's a dirty man. No, so it's really fucking good though. He's got a heart of gold.
Kill him, he's got a heart of gold.
He's got a heart of gold. Give me that gold. No, he's it's really fucking good. It's scary as fuck in like a super slow burn way.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
How many episodes is it?
10.
10.
Me and Jordan have watched 6, so we have like 4 left. And
Fuck, I want to watch it.
the third episode, like the first 2 are really slow. Like there's some crazy shit that happens in them, but it's like really developing characters and stuff, and they're really setting a stage and like kind of presenting everything I just told you about them getting stuck in the ice. Like it all happens in the first 2. The third episode, something so insane happens that me and Jordan both were getting tired. We both sat up, got alert, and had to watch 2 more episodes before the end of the night because we were so like, what the fuck was that kind of thing. Like that's crazy. And then and now we watch like an episode a night because it's just so intense that like I don't want to like overdo it.
Yeah. Wow. It's fantastic.
It's really good.
I can't wait. What is it on?
It's an AMC show. Well,
Okay.
it's an English show that's being broadcast on AMC, but I'm watching it on Admit Me.
What? What is that? Just kidding.
What service are you describing?
That's great. What else? Fucking Barry was amazing last week.
Barry was fucking incredible. We watched that together.
By the time this is out, the season will be through. There's 1 episode left.
Yeah, by the time this is out, it'll be done for about a week or so.
For about a week?
This episode's coming out.
Oh, I was thinking about Barry. Like, I thought you were like saying like, they're just taking a week off and they're coming back. And I was like, wait, what?
With 1 episode. Yeah.
Dude, mid-season break. Just a week off.
Into the season break. I will say this about Barry, the blonde girl, the main girl.
Yeah.
He's got an infatuation.
Fucking hate her.
But she's a great actress. That's a great actress. I've never seen that person in anything.
I've never seen her in anything either. Can't say I love the character. But, you know, whatever.
The character's supposed to be super flawed. Like, that character's super flawed, but she's like a talented actress in the show. And I think that the actress who's playing her is a super talented actress for being able to play this like really vapid, self-obsessed actor, and then and then give you this sense of like she's struggling with her life and where it is, and like she's got these like this conflicting like thing going on inside of her, and then she's actually a good actress in the show. Like she actually comes across as being a good actress in the show.
Yeah,
like as that character.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think
you've turned me around.
It's good. It's a good.
It is good.
role.
She's a very good actress for sure. I think she just makes me uncomfortable sometimes. I'm just like,
super uncomfortable.
Get out of here. Get out of the fucking shot.
You're being a bitch. You're being such a bitch.
Henry Winkler is a fucking national treasure.
He's the best. He's the fucking best. Rewatching Arrested Development, the remix.
Oh my god.
And
Okay.
that was cracking me
Something
up.
about Barry as well. Like, I love that. Spoilers.
Spoilers, guys.
Nothing too big, but I love that it's not like a traditional like guy gets the girl kind of thing. Because
Not at all, yeah.
Like literally, I was like, okay, like, so he's doing that. Well, maybe eventually, but
Well, he fantasizes
for right now,
about having
like,
her, and it's great.
oh my god, yeah, it's so good. I love his fantasies.
They're fantastic.
They're so good. But yeah, it just seemed like it was going that way, and then immediately when it went that way, it stopped. Like
Yeah.
it stopped.
He like got her. He like had a one night stand with her, and then got
Yeah.
way too clingy, and it started showing his his social ineptitude and stuff, and like you start to see him more of like what he's actually been.
I
Like,
love
he comes across kind
how
of like a guy who
fucking
would be
raw
a
it
hitman.
is.
Oh,
This
it's
last
so raw.
episode, like the
And
part, the fucking part in the car. Oh my god. Very intense parts in this car, I'm saying, y'all, but you know, just watch it. You'll know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, I had to fix that.
It's okay.
Dude, the part in the car was insane. The part in the car was insane,
Part in the car.
and
Car parts.
watch like you knew what was going to happen, and then you were kind of like the guy who it happens to. You were in his shoes for a second, and
It was very good. That guy is in like fucking American Pie and shit. Like,
Yeah.
where did he go and just come back and act
Awesome.
that scene so fucking amazing?
so well.
I was
You
like,
felt it.
what?
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was so good.
The way he like pleaded with him, and then was just like, never mind. When he realized what situation he was actually in,
Yeah.
when he realized who his friend actually was, and then fucking Bill Hader's performance as like the guy who has to
Amazing.
come like in that moment has to come to terms with the fact with who he is and
And
what
what
he
he has
actually
to
has
do.
to do, and he doesn't want to do it, and you can see it play out. But then it's like the resignation to like, I actually have to do this. I have no choice,
It's so good.
and you've put me in this position. Like
Fuck.
the way that played out was intense. And then
he shoots him.
in the face.
I was like, we can't just talk about this much and not
When he shoots
watch
him in the
this
face,
shit.
But then when he's backstage getting ready to go on for his line, and it's cutting
Oh my god. Most amazing thing ever.
through the phone call and the funeral of the guy he killed and his family and stuff, and the way they did that is insane.
It was so fucking incredible.
It was beautiful.
Oh,
It was so good.
yeah. Like top scenes of the year.
Yeah, it
You
was
know?
great.
That would be an interesting thing to do. Like fucking make a
Top scenes of the year.
yeah.
I'm actually down. That sounds
Top scenes of 2018.
We're gonna have
Just
to s-
everything.
Yeah, scrub through everything we've seen.
That'd be cool. Well, maybe that'll be a thing.
Maybe the thing. Hey, you can tell we're outside now.
Because the cops are coming. Yeah, we fucking get it. Someone's dying. But we're all dying. Save me.
Inside.
It's the only way to die.
Inside and then outside.
Inside, later comes the outside. Unless it all just
That one.
meshes together at once, and then you got a little bit of insides coming outside.
A little outside.
It's going inside.
Until you're nothing.
Yeah. Or just laugh.
We're all gonna die.
All right, we've clearly accepted it. Why can't you?
Guys, accept it and move on.
I accept you.
It's like death is just a bad breakup. Guys, just accept it and move on. You can't do anything about it.
Dude, he
She's gonna-
sucks.
She's gonna suck his dick. It doesn't matter.
Oh no. A fucking blowjob from Lady Death.
It's the way to go out.
Which is what Thanos would ultimately like from the comic books. But
From the comic books, but not in
Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, I was waiting for that scene.
But Death might not be alive anymore.
Well, I don't know. Let's not dwell on that. We'll get into some shit.
Let's get into this shit.
Let's get into it. All right. Well, here it is. Avengers: Infinity War. We've been waiting fucking
6
Well,
days.
we didn't know we were waiting, but it's been 10 years since Marvel started, which is insane and an absolutely amazing accomplishment on their part.
Yeah, for real.
It's fucking sweet. They did a very good job.
Yep.
Even if you don't like
there were some
a
fumbles.
lot of, superhero movies, like every single one, they still fucking did it and did a pretty fucking good job for...
Speaking as someone who grew up liking superhero movies and then fell out of love with the superhero movies, I'm won back over with this particular movie.
Yeah.
And I've seen I've kept up, guys. I've not watched them. I just didn't enjoy them for the most part after
Yeah.
I got to a certain age.
I think a lot of people felt that as well because superhero movies were becoming the movies, and it was just everyone. It's just box office sales after box office sales, just fucking superhero movies. Everyone's going to see superhero movies.
It seems lately that you can kind of see that in the big films that are coming out for Oscar seasons and stuff. Like the last 2 or 3 years, three years or so, you've seen some really crazy fucking movies come out, like art films and stuff that are, I think that are popular because of the people's disdain for these superhero films.
Yeah.
But I would argue that this particular superhero film kind of transcends all of it, and it's like back in the 70s going to see one of those big blockbusters like Jaws or something.
Well, yeah. Well,
it's Steven Spielberg movie.
It's very epic, and it's epic in the way that I feel like Star Wars used to be. Like Star Wars isn't shit now. Star Wars, people go see Star Wars movies because I don't know why anymore, but.
I mean,
when it came back,
there's all this built-in fan base to him. Some people genuinely like the movies, I guess, but like Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion, if we're going to talk about Star Wars for a second, Empire Strikes Back's the only one that's good.
Well, I just want to talk about, I don't know, like how Star Wars movies made me, like the original trilogy made me feel when I was a kid. Like that's what I feel from this movie. Like I feel like there is like epic integrity to it. And it holds up, and it's not like just fucking sloppy bullshit.
For sure. You're talking about the original trilogy of Star Wars? Yeah. No. You're right. As a kid, I felt that as well. And as an adult, I look back and go, well, Empire Strikes Back is actually that epic.
It's fucking amazing.
Like, it holds up as an adult being that epic. And I'd say Infinity War is also in that realm of epicness.
Yeah, for sure.
Of being like this feels like everything has been trying to feel like all of these Marvel movies have wanted to feel like. This actually hits that moment. This is Fellowship of the Ring for the first time kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, Avengers is Fellowship.
Yeah, but the experience.
Yeah.
The intangible experience of seeing
Honestly, I did not see Fellowship in theaters. I came to Lord of the Rings late.
Damn, dude.
Fellowship of the Ring was already out, and I was like, what's Fellowship of the Ring? I was like, what are you guys talking about, you fucking freaks?
How late?
I didn't fucking know about Lord of the Rings until like after the movie was already out.
But like which movie?
Fellowship.
So we were in 4th or 5th grade when that movie came out.
Probably.
I saw that in theaters, and I went with a friend, and my friend got scared in the first 5 minutes in the intro. And my dad had to leave and call his parents to pick him up, and I missed the first 10 minutes of the movie after that.
And
came back in when Gandalf is in the Shire already, and I was like super into it after that.
Damn.
It set my path down loving RPGs, loving things like Oblivion and Skyrim, playing video games like that, and loving fantasy.
Hell yeah.
Fucking 10, 11
I just played fucking Super Smash Bros.
I know you did, because you kicked everybody's fucking ass.
I wasn't into... Well, I played RuneScape. I feel like when I played RuneScape, I didn't even know what Lord of the Rings was. I don't think that's right, actually. I really don't think that's right.
You probably did.
I think I was well aware, like, at the time of when I played RuneScape, which is probably like fucking 6th grade or some shit.
People still play that game and talk about it.
Oh, that's silly. I'm just kidding. Whatever. It's a good time.
It's a nostalgia thing.
It's pretty silly and funny.
Yeah, I never played RuneScape. I was never part of that actual world. I never played Yu-Gi-Oh either. I was a Pokemon kid.
Yeah, I never played it, but I definitely had some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There was some fucking funny ass Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Kids loved them. I remember being in 5th grade and still being into Pokemon and collecting Pokemon cards, and people were collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards at the time. This is 2002, so Yu-Gi-Oh was getting really popular, and I remember literally at that age thinking, that's fucking stupid.
And then you're like, yeah, I got my Pokemon cards.
Why aren't you guys buying Pokemon cards?
You guys are stupid as fuck.
Yeah, Pokemon cards are worth money. Yu-Gi-Oh cards are worth shit.
Yeah, come on.
Hey.
That animator sucks.
My interest stood the test of time.
Pegasus?
Pokemon's still a thing. What the fuck is Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh's probably still a thing, but it's not
a Pokemon.
It's definitely not Pokemon. Dude, my fucking cousins, shout out Nick Wolf, Sam Wolf, Luke Wolf, Felicia. I don't know if you had anything to do with it. Probably not.
Felicia.
But
Fuck you, Felicia.
they had like fucking every single Pokemon card. And they had it in like this huge fucking book, and they literally had like every single one, even like super rare fucking
They collected
crazy
them all.
hologram. I mean, they just like had them all.
They collected them all.
Yeah.
They won. They beat the game.
And I was just like, holy fucking shit.
I still have all mine in fucking binders from when I was a kid. I kept that shit
Yeah.
in binders, and they made those fucking special, like, it was like, I guess, baseball card stuff too, because of the same size, but like you filed everything, and then I had the big case with them.
I remember
them.
fucking collecting like baseball and like basketball cards and shit, and not knowing why I was doing it.
Really? See, I collected,
that's so weird to like think about. Like, I literally just had them, and I was like, I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah, why do I care? I collected baseball cards for like a couple months because my dad was into baseball when I was a really little kid. I mean, he was into sports.
Yeah.
And so he's like, baseball cards, maybe that'll land, you know. Hopefully I don't got a fucking fairy on my hands. And yeah, and then I remember being like, I don't know who these people. At 6, being like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I joined the Cub Scouts, and then I didn't care about fucking baseball cards, but I was like really into survivalism as like a child. I want to learn how to survive. It's like, and my dad's like, all right, that's manly.
That's fine. Yeah,
That's
cool.
fine. Like, cool. Let's learn how to survive. I'm like, I want to learn how to light a fire in the rain.
And tend to my family when they need me.
And then I lost interest.
After that part.
Once I realized I was a white man, at about the age of 9.
A white man at the age of 9.
I don't have to learn how to survive. In fact, it's more interesting if I get bullied.
What the fuck? Yeah, you thought of this for sure.
No, I got bullied out of the Cub Scouts. No, I didn't. I loved Cub Scouts.
Cub Scouts
I just got into Pokemon.
Loved me.
I got into Pokemon, and then I was like, never mind. I want to play cards.
Yeah.
I want to play video games.
I want to play fucking Pokemon video games and be in a superhero movie.
Yeah.
I want to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Why does Toby get to do it?
Fuck. That guy's not that old. He's like 30 when he did Spider-Man.
Hey, what the fuck's Seabiscuit doing swinging through the air?
I'm 11.
Seabiscuit came after Spider-Man, I think.
It did. It came in between 2 and 3, I think.
Damn, we were like, Toby, where are you going? Come
What are you
back here.
doing?
We got a shitty ass film to make.
We got the worst of the Spider-Mans.
It's so funny.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Video Game Donkeys review is the funniest thing.
That is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like, I can't remember. We were like at some Travis Dutton's dad's house, just like for Thanksgiving or some shit. It was some holiday. And we were watching some football or whatever, and then when commercials come on, Spider-Man 3 was on, and we would just flip over to it, and it was like gold every time we would go. That was my favorite part. Like, I was like, yeah, okay, football, yeah. Like, commercials are super short for football. It's like 2 commercials.
Yeah. Back to football.
You're like, oh, god damn it. You're like checking more often because you know Dad wants to fucking watch football.
Yeah. You're like, just go back to Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 so funny, please.
So funny. So bad.
When he's like fucking dancing on the table and shit and like finger gunning girls.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my
Is
God.
that Bryce Dallas Howard playing Gwen Stacy? Is that Ron Howard's kid? Is that Ron Howard's kid?
Is that who it is? It's what else is she in? It's
Lady in the Water. Is she the lady from Lady in the Water?
I know exactly who it is. I don't know. That name doesn't sound familiar to me. What else is she in? She's in the fucking newest like Jurassic World shit.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a terrible actress.
Well,
I don't think she is. Honestly, like I didn't really think that until these Jurassic World movies.
Jurassic World's a terrible movie though.
But her delivery on every line, I'm like, oh my God. What the fuck is this bullshit? Are we living in a simulated world? And this is a simulated movie, essentially.
Yeah.
Like with simulated actors. I'm just
That's
like,
what Chris Pratt is now.
what the
A
fuck? Chris
simulation.
Pratt is a simulation too.
Yeah.
He used to be real.
Yeah. When he was on Parks and Rec.
He was real. He was real as
And-
fuck when he was on Parks and Rec.
And that fucking Canadian soap opera thing he was on.
I did not know about that.
He was on like it was one of those teen dramas, like Evergreen or something like that.
All right. Well, Chris Pratt, boom, back to fucking Avengers.
Back to Avengers.
Okay, so Avengers opens with like transmission from the Asgardian ship.
It's like the end of Ragnarok, basically.
Yeah, Ragnarok is like, you know that Thanos has come by if you watch Ragnarok in the fucking end credits. Of course
Yeah.
you did, because you're a super fan. And
If you're listening to this, you have to be.
but so it's Thanos is pretty much like taking over this ship, and everybody's fucking dead, and he's with the Black Order, and he has fucking Thor, and it's just like fucking about to kill him. You see, he's already got the fucking Power Stone, the Purple Boy.
The Purple Boy.
He's got that one.
What
and
movie did he get
they
that in?
explain later that he didn't get it in a movie. It was on Xandar from Guardians 1 or some shit. I
Okay.
don't fucking know.
Okay.
I think that's what it was on. And they explain later in the film that he like fucking just went there and like destroyed fucking Xandar or destroyed half of Xandar. I don't know if he like only does half the population every time, or he's just like, fucking kill everyone because I need this stone.
Yeah, I don't know. They're by the end of the movie, it seems like every time he kills half.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I'm not sure about Xandar. But anyway, doesn't matter. He fucking got the Power Stone. You didn't see that. It was off camera, but it just needed to fucking happen.
happened,
So he would
yeah.
just be powerful already. And he was like, hey, I'm going to kill Thor. And
Yeah.
Loki's there and he's like, fucking do it. And yeah.
And then Loki ends up dying.
But
Brutally.
first Loki is like, we have a Hulk or whatever, and Hulk gets his one scene in the movie before he starts being a bitch and like
Being Mark
is the worst
Ruffalo.
actor ever.
Yeah.
Only complaint of the film is Mark Ruffalo.
That sucks, dude. He's like one of the more professional actors in the movie. I mean, they're all professional.
Not even though. Like I feel like he, like, since he's been part of the Avengers, he's been pretty out of the loop on good.
I'm just thinking
good
like Zodiac.
films and-
He's great in Zodiac, but I that's a bias. It's a one movie bias. I can't.
I like
hold
him in
it.
Eternal Sunshine a lot too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can be good.
He can definitely be good, but I don't know. I think he just quit. He was like, okay, I'm part of Avengers now. Like,
Yeah, give me a
I'm just
paycheck.
gonna be goofy.
Yeah,
Like, I think he's the goofy guy on set. Like, he makes everybody laugh. He's one of the guys that, like, a lot of people are just like, oh, you fucking love Mark.
he's funny. I like.
And then he
working
just
with
like
him.
stopped acting.
Yeah,
Like,
he's just being
just
goofy.
like, this is fun. I'm getting paid. Cool. I'm like, just got dots all over my face most of the time.
Not in this movie.
Not in this movie. But so you get a fucking badass little beat up from Hulk, but then like on the second time around watching this film,
Yeah.
watching like Thanos beat the shit out of Hulk. Like I was watching all of the fucking moves, like it was a fucking boxing match or some shit. And I was like, damn, it was so good. Actually, it's fucking crazy the visual effects on this, except for like a couple scenes with the Black Order. The Black Order gets kind of weird sometimes. It's kind of like the girl that Carrie Coon plays, which is weird that Carrie Coon even plays.
So I don't know if you heard me in the middle of the movie. I was like, you can hear it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I didn't know that until after.
You told me in like after her intro,
after
she was
the
like,
first
by the way,
time.
that's
Yeah.
Carrie Coon. And then like halfway through the movie, she had a scene, and I was like, oh, you can hear it in her voice.
Yeah, for sure.
That sounds like Carrie Coon.
I heard it the second time around. I was like, okay, yeah, that's definitely Carrie Coon.
Yeah.
But her face looks kind of weird and not quite
It's not Carrie
not
Coon
quite as
looking.
good as like Squidward face guy. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
They
his
call
fucking
him
name
Squidward, though. They do call him that.
But he was awesome as shit. I fucking love that. But anyway, yeah, so Thanos fucking murders Loki and Heimdall in the fucking first scene. Spoilers. You better go watch the fucking movie.
People, I feel like people are
Yeah.
have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
for
gonna
sure.
assume that you've seen the movie. We're gonna talk about it. Like
Well,
you've
if you're
seen it.
listening to a review, you know, like, come on.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Like
Stop
you've seen
listening to reviews. Go watch the movie. It's really good. Okay. But no, keep listening.
it.
That kills off, you know, a good chunk of Thor's universe.
Yeah.
Like what's kind of good in there. And I wonder, like, okay, like, so full disclosure, all context of the whole movie during the entire conversation, the fucking disappearing part at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I think that those characters are under the umbrella of characters to come back, but I don't think outside of that,
The characters are coming back.
characters are coming back.
Okay, so I agree with you, and I thought Gamora wasn't going to come back as well, but I was talking to somebody else who's seen it, and they were saying that Gamora, because she was killed to get the Soul Stone, when he snaps his fingers and he goes to the Soul Plane, like that place with like the weird thing, and Gamora's a little child, and it's like really trippy looking, and Thanos is in that area, and he's like, it's right after he snapped his fingers, and she's like, what did it cost? And he's like, everything or whatever. He's actually in the Soul Plane, like the plane of existence, and she's still alive, and so like Gamora's gonna come back.
Yeah, I would think that Gamora would come back
Oh, I think
because
that
of
actress is
because
signed
of
on.
Guardians.
Yeah, like that actress is gonna
Like,
be in
they're
other movies.
definitely going to do another Guardians movie, and that's
Yes.
how you know. Like, it's not going to be Guardians without Gamora. And Zoe Saldana's fucking awesome.
She's incredible. She's one of the best parts of Guardians and one of the best parts of Infinity War. It's just like she's one of the straight actors, like she plays it straight kind of
Very
actors.
intense, and
Yeah.
like she's got a lot to deal with. The most to deal with, pretty much. Most on her plate.
She brings the stakes with her.
Yeah. On the plate.
Yeah.
Stakes on the plate.
Well, her relationship with Thanos gives the movie a lot of emotional resonance. It's an important relationship, and they did a good job developing it in the first two Guardians movies, and then letting it play out in this, and realizing Thanos actually loves her, and that's why he actually hasn't killed her and stuff. And like there are disputes in Guardians 1 and 2. You realize like he's not even trying to kill her at all.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, it's an interesting dynamic.
Well, you also
It humanizes him in a way that or unvillainizes him in a way that's interesting for being such a big villain. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, it's his own captured daughter.
Yeah,
She's his prisoner. He's not going to kill her.
Yeah, but he loves her.
Honestly,
the
the first time around that I watched this, the part where she takes him to whatever the Vormir or whatever the place is, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And because she had like a map to the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
She knew where it was. So she takes him there, and then fucking Death shows up, essentially, which is, I think, a replacement for the original comics like Infinity Gauntlet series, having Lady Death be a huge part of it, but just visually, because obviously it's Red Skull, you know, and Red Skull plays no part in like the way that Lady Death does in the comics, because the entire reason that Thanos is trying to wipe out half the universe is to impress Lady Death in the comic books.
Yeah.
Because he fucking loves Lady Death. And it's crazy that in the first Avengers, at the end of the first Avengers credit scene where it first showed Thanos for the first time, and it's like some servant of Thanos coming up to him, and he's like, to oppose the Avengers would be like dining with death or something like that, like to like something along those lines. It's not that, and he's like, perfect or whatever. Like that's an ode to him wanting to dine with death.
So they're setting it up for that.
They're setting it up for that, but they didn't do that plot. But it was so early that like you can't really blame them for like actually writing out like an entire different like.
So like I said, this I mean, it's 10 years of work, and like they made some missteps and had some fumbles along the way.
But like not really big
ones.
things, you know,
Small
like
that
that's just like hype, you know.
Yeah.
And like also
it introduces his character.
Also it's wordplay.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily, you know, like canon. It's just like, oh, that it's a nice little like ode.
Yeah.
You know, in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the biggest fucking mess up is the recasting of the Hulk from Edward Norton. Can you imagine if Edward Norton was in these movies?
No.
I cannot imagine Edward Norton being in these movies.
I couldn't tell you if it would be better or worse. I think it might be better because he can handle serious better than Mark Ruffalo, I think, can, and Edward Norton is capable of comedy.
It'd 100% be better, but like
Edward Norton's an incredibly difficult actor to work with, apparently.
Oh yeah, I don't think that it would last. Which is why he didn't like.
Yeah.
It's why he was just like, no, I'm not gonna even fucking do it.
Yeah.
But like Iron Man was in The Incredible Hulk, that movie.
Yeah.
He like showed up at the end with fucking Nick Fury or some bullshit.
And I'm super glad to have seen Nick Fury at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Because they kind of dropped him off.
I don't give a fuck about Nick Fury.
I don't either, but it was like a fun little thing. Him and
I was disappointed.
Colby Smulders. I wasn't.
I was very disappointed. I was like, I guess we're gonna fucking watch this shit.
He disappeared.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
Oh Jesus Christ. Okay, what do we talk about?
Well, there's so much to talk about. So like, this is a casual conversation. We're not going to break this movie down plot by fucking plot.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
It's recent. People have seen it. So I think let's just talk about our favorite fucking parts. Like, I loved Doctor Strange in this movie.
Yeah.
And I thought the Doctor Strange movie was good, but wasn't great. But I thought Doctor Strange as a character really shined in this film.
Mm-hmm. Well, Doctor Strange as a movie is very entertaining. Like, again, just visually, they did a very fucking good job on making it fucking trippy and crazy and like keeping you in that way. But like plot wise, just very basic, very, very fucking basic. And like almost moves like way too quickly. You're just like, oh, okay, all right, it's Doctor Strange now. Like
it moves way too quickly.
Yeah, it's very quick.
My biggest problem with most of the Marvel movies is the pacing. Their pacing is so off.
Can you hand me that lighter, sir?
Yeah, say.
Yeah, there are pacing problems in a lot of them because they're trying to establish these characters so quickly. So that they can move on to the next villain of the week.
And like a lot of them are origin stories, which I didn't love the Spider-Man Homecoming, but I didn't finish Spider-Man Homecoming. But one thing that I'm starting to appreciate now as I'm watching more of these is how Spider-Man Homecoming didn't do the origin story, and therefore the movie doesn't feel rushed.
It's very true. And because they had already introduced him in Civil War, you already knew who the fuck Spider-Man was. There's been plenty.
There's been so many movies about Spider-Man, and like
Yeah.
they did a good thing by not giving him an origin story. He just is Spider-Man, and the movie doesn't feel ill-paced per se. It is so much like the other movies do, like Doctor Strange does. And that's my biggest problem with Black Panther, which we were talking about earlier, is the pacing. Like they needed, like the beginning of the movie was so rushed for Black Panther that I feel like we lost a lot of the emotional weight that the Killmonger character has. And like it's there and you can feel it because Michael B. Jordan's a great actor. But what if Michael B. Jordan brought that same performance to a role where we got 30 minutes in the beginning of the movie to really establish his backstory?
Yeah.
And the movie took its time in that way. And then, because Black Panther had already been introduced, so then introducing Black Panther in the way they did would work fine, and they wouldn't have to change much more else about the movie. But they didn't explore Killmonger's relationship with his father as well as they should have, or Killmonger's father's relationship with the King of Wakanda.
Yeah, that whole 90s scene in the beginning, I'll say it again, it just felt very weird.
It wasn't long enough. It was just one scene. It almost needed that movie almost needed to start playing as that kind of movie and establish those relationships, and you almost feel like it's not a superhero movie you're watching, like almost trick you for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That you're like, what is this movie going to be? And then it go into Black Panther the way that it eventually did, and then you have all of this depth to the Killmonger
I agree.
character.
That would actually be fantastic. It's true that like Killmonger is the best because Michael B. Jordan is just so fucking good.
It's fantastic.
And like you believe him so hard.
Yes.
It's amazing. But like, God, just like that's why you want more from him as well.
Yeah, well,
you know?
and you're not even from him, from the storytellers themselves to give his character even more.
Not from
reason.
Michael B. Jordan, but from Killmonger as a character.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Michael B. Jordan brought it. And
He really
It was
did.
fantastic.
So bummed that he's
dead.
He's dead. I'm like, what? No,
Yeah.
don't kill him. Take him to put him in jail.
Put him in jail.
Put
and
him
let
in
come back.
jail and have him come back.
Pull
Come
a
on.
Batman, please. He doesn't need to die. I mean, but it is so emotionally heavy that like that he does die. That like if that's the ending you're going to go with, I want that extra 20 minutes at the beginning. I want that Spike Lee movie right before Black Panther.
Mm-hmm. I honestly think that like another Black Panther movie will probably be much better.
Yeah, we'll be more familiar with Wakanda and with the characters in Wakanda, that they may not need to focus so much on. I'm using air quotes to do this, but establishing Wakanda.
Yeah.
And I think that will lend to a better movie, because like establishing Wakanda they took so long to do it in this, and it wasn't.
And I don't even think they
bad.
did it in a very interesting way.
They didn't, and they used really generic sets, and they reused those sets.
Yeah,
it was like
there was
waterfall
very little
set,
scenes.
King room set, walking down the street set, a tech room set, and then
Fight
battlefield.
scene. Yeah, battlefield with all the like people on the walls. Like that looked very weird.
Yeah, and then the sacred room set where he does and it was like all those, and they did each set at least twice, but they didn't show you anything else. There was no dynamic set. Like you didn't feel like you were in Wakanda. You felt like you were in Hollywood, moving between like 8 different sets.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. God damn it.
Yeah, and all you get is like these wide shots of Wakanda, and it's like, well, bring me into Wakanda. Go shoot this movie in Dubai if you have to, but like bring me into Wakanda.
Yeah, for sure. But
I mean, that's something that like the Mission Impossible movies do and fantastically. They're not making cities up, which I think is what the reason why we saw just like sets in this film, because obviously Wakanda is not a real place, and it would be difficult to stage scenes like that. But like you watch a Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol and they're in Dubai, you feel like you're in Dubai. You know, you feel like you're in those cities. and that's international. They moved from city to city, and it feels like you're in those places and the way they shoot around it. Now, if you're making a city up, that's going to be more difficult because you're not going to actually be able to shoot in that city like that movie is. But borrow from cities. Pull Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is able to actually convince me that they're in a fantasy universe and they're shooting in real places.
Yeah, they are shooting in real places.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So like convince me.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones can do it, you can fucking do it for Black Panther.
But yeah, just a couple flukies.
For real, just a couple. Infinity War itself is not a fluke.
Yeah, and even like the new characters, you're just like, I just want to see this character, and then that's when they kind of give you just a basic plot kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is already selling itself, so you go, like.
Well, and that's how a lot of those movies play. But then Infinity War really brought it in. It's not a fluke. It's 10 years worth of really rushed movies to get to this really well paced movie.
Yeah, very well paced.
Where everything
and like
plays
balance,
together well.
a huge balancing act between so many fucking characters.
They did different color correction for each setting. So like the stuff in space was like Guardians, and the stuff on in New York was like Doctor Strange or Iron Man, or like depending on like what character was in focus, they like changed the color correction for each scene. I was reading.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's really cool.
Fuck
and
yeah.
It worked well. It's seamless.
It worked fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like all their movies inside of this movie, pretty much.
Yeah, essentially.
Ultimately, like the biggest change was like, bringing Guardians into more earthly universe.
Bringing the space, like really out there, space sci-fi stuff in, and also introducing the characters to the magical world, which with Doctor Strange. But I felt like that was handled really easily, like really well in that one scene. And they get into that fight scene, and it's just like everybody ends up just accepting, okay, there's magic, or there's magical elements in this.
I would think there would be more backlash from Tony Stark, but he just called them wizards.
Yeah,
which was
he made fun of them.
It worked well. I liked it,
and I think it works so well because he got so swept up so quickly.
Well, yeah, for sure.
It like happened so fast
that he
doesn't
have time to fucking just be grilling Doctor Strange
and like figuring it out, because by the time he has time to do that, they're on a spaceship halfway through space, and he's seen the powers play out.
And I love how quick that happens. Honestly,
it's
like
so good.
That little fight where like it's pretty good time. And you're like fucking hoping that fucking Hulk will come out. He's not. Whatever. Fuck it. Okay. Spider-Man just shows up. Badass. Fuck yeah.
It's awesome.
They are trying to get the time stone from Doctor Strange. So he's like fucking knocked out, and they're pulling him up, and Spider-Man is like holding on to him, trying to get him back as well, and just being shot up into fucking this spaceship. And I was just like, okay, Spider-Man's going to space. Like, what? Yes. Fuck yes. Like, I love it just immediately.
It's awesome.
And I love also the scene when Spider-Man first sees the spaceship, and he's on the bus. He's like, Ned, I'll cause a distraction. I gotta go. He's like, holy shit, we're all gonna die. It's a spaceship. And Stan Lee's just driving the bus.
You kids calm down back there.
You've never seen a spaceship before? I love seeing him in his own like fucking creation. It's so awesome.
He's in every one, man. It's great.
It's so good. I love him in Thor Ragnarok too, when he's cutting his hair and he's got crazy fucking contraption with like blades and shit on it.
It's so cool.
I love it so much.
He's in I forget who he is in Black Panther, but he shows up in Black Panther too.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, not at all.
But he's done every Marvel movie since the first one, which would be Spider-Man with Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire.
Was X-Men before Spider-Man though?
Yeah,
I think it
actually,
was.
yeah. X-Men's the first one.
X-Men was
X-Men's
the first shit,
and he's not in that.
Are you sure?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think he might be,
but I'm pretty sure he's not in all the X-Men movies. He's not in X2.
Yeah.
I don't think. And X2 is my favorite one.
X2's fantastic. It's so good,
so dark, and so perfect.
But I really like I like a lot of parts from X1 too.
No, X1 and X2 were really good, like superhero movies for the time and for now. Like they were
the beginning of X-Men.
They
the
really,
first movie.
Yeah,
like with just like fucking Logan fighting.
Yeah, them pulling up into that place and it's like in his truck and it's like snowing outside and they're nowhere and then he just goes in and fights that guy in the backroom boxing arena.
Yeah,
like Fight Club style. Yeah, it's dark. It feels like a Nolan superhero.
Yeah,
movie.
for sure, it really does. It was awesome.
Those movies really struck like right in between what Marvel's doing now and what DC's doing. Like those movies were really right in the middle of being like comic booky and dark, like realistic.
Yeah, for sure.
They actually like,
and not dark like lighting wise, you know.
Yeah, no, dark like material wise. They had some dark lighting, but not the whole time.
Yeah, and Sir
Great
Patrick
casting.
Stewart, like, come on, dude. Yeah, seriously. For sure. Like Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart, like, what the fuck?
Those are the best casting choices ever. And I'm pretty sure, doesn't X-Men actually start with young Magneto in the Nazi concentration camp? That's how it actually starts.
Yeah, that's how it actually starts. That's incredible. Well, like the thing with X-Men is that they didn't dilute it, which is good because it's very intense in the first place. But it's hard to, how would you dilute that? You
start
can't.
off by the introducing.
It's literally about oppression.
Exactly. It's about oppression. It starts off with the quote unquote bad guy in a Nazi concentration camp and him breaking out. And then like, as you get to know his character later on, he's the villain, but it's because he's been oppressed for so long, like literally by the Nazis. And so he's not even that bad, is he? Like his motivations become so muddled by like what his origin is, and they immediately introduce you to that.
Yeah,
it is 100%.
And like the relationship
oppression.
between
him and Charles
is amazing. I love it so much.
It's incredible. I'm gonna rewatch those movies. We might have to do an X-Men episode.
I've got them all.
So same. It's same.
Bought the trilogy back at Walmart for like $15 one time.
I bought the X-Men trilogy and the Matrix trilogy. The X-Men trilogy got more better movies in it.
Come on, how about The Last Stand? So good.
Yeah, but Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions are the most disappointing pieces of shit.
True.
Animatrix is awesome.
Yeah,
Matrix 1 is awesome.
Matrix 1 is fucking awesome.
I watch it once a year.
Any particular time?
Christmas time.
Christmas time. Very good.
I watch it like December 8th through the 15th, somewhere in there, in that week.
Wonderful. Very wonderful. Well, okay, so when Guardians show up, it feels so good. I fucking love it so much. And I think it's so weird that Vin Diesel is just still doing Groot. Like, it's just like an excuse for him to be a part of it, I feel like.
I feel like he recorded everything already and they're just crediting
yeah, like
his
he
voice.
just record. He like one night, he just says, I am Groot in a bunch of different ways and just sends it in.
He recorded for 6 weeks, he recorded I Am Groot 875 different ways or something like that.
Like when the first Guardians came out?
When they did the first, and I think they're probably just pulling from that and they're pitching in up and doing like voice effects to his voice to make it fit the Groot that they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's probably just the same voice recording he did when the original Guardians. And it's just, it is Vin Diesel's voice, but it's from his 6-week stint. Like, I mean, that's an impressive, I'm pretty sure he worked on it longer. I'm pretty sure he did motion capture. He does the motion capture. And then he recorded the voice, and I don't think they record the voice anymore. But he might still be doing the motion capture.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Okay, so when they first introduce him, and he's just playing video games, and like, come on, Groot, you don't want your head to go, like, your mind to rot or something. I think that's actually a line later in the movie. But something along those lines. He's just like, I am Groot. And they're like, whoa, come, language.
Yeah. And then
boy, this guy's got some acorns on him.
I love when Thor just starts speaking with him. And Rocket is like, what do you speak, Groot? And he's like, Groottian. They speak.
It was an elective.
It was an elective back on Asgard.
Yeah,
like he took it in high school, and he's just like, he understands Groot.
And that scene is really good. Like with them going off together.
So good.
Groot, Thor, and Rocket Raccoon, like they're awesome together. I love them.
They're great.
And Thor's like sulking in the back because like everything is just gone terribly wrong, you know, in his world. Yeah. And he actually acts Chris Hemsworth does an impeccable job like explaining like his plight to Rocket, because Rocket's like, all right, time to be captain. And like goes back there, and Thor's like pulling at your heartstrings, and he's just like lost all my friends and shit. So I guess, you know, what do I have to lose? And Rocket Raccoon, like he like walks away, and Rocket Raccoon's just like, well, I've got a lot to lose personally. I've got a lot to lose.
I like this guy. No, well, the way Thor phrases everything. I mean, he summarizes everything that happens in his movies in like a few sentences, and it's only because Rocket keeps asking him questions. Yeah, and he's like, the biggest thing on his mind is that Loki just got killed, and he's like, I think my brother's gone for good this time. He's been gone before, but I think he's gone for good. And he's like, well, I mean, you still have home, right? And he's like, well, Asgard got destroyed. And he's like, well, I mean, it's okay. I mean, your family's still there, right? And he's like, well, my father was killed, and blah 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 was killed, and then I you know, we killed my sister because she was trying to destroy everything. And he's like, well, what about your best friend? He goes, he was also killed last week. And it's just like keeps pushing, and it's just getting worse and worse. And it's like, oh shit, everything close to Thor is dead.
Yeah, it's really nuts.
Yeah. Well, and they dropped Natalie Portman and Kat Dennings out of the universe essentially after like the second Thor movie, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. I don't remember how they did that.
I wonder what another Thor movie would be like if they were to make one.
I think Taika Waititi really set a standard for it that's going to be difficult for anybody else to do unless it's
Taika Waititi
or a really talented director.
But I feel like after Thor Ragnarok, I really don't think that they're going to stop. I feel like they're going to try to make another Thor movie. You know, I don't know what Crims Hemsworth. I don't know what his contract's looking like. I don't know if it's coming to an end as well.
I don't know. And they were quiet about the contracts, and I need to go look at the Hollywood Buzz shit. I haven't like looked at the publications in a while, but I know Robert Downey Jr. is coming.
Robert Downey and Chris Evans
are coming to a close on their contracts, and I think they're both happy about it. I mean, both of them have made lifetimes worth of livings off of these roles, and I think they're both talented enough actors. I'd like to see what they're going to do.
They both gave as well. Like fucking this last movie was supposed to be the end, but they were like, well, it's going to be a two-parter, so we're going to do it.
Yeah,
you know,
they're gonna finish out.
They're not shitheads.
No, they're not trying to screw the series over, and I think they know that these are going to be good movies.
Yeah.
Not only are these good for their career, these are actually good movies. Why wouldn't you want to be involved in it, especially if you've been in lesser movies involved in this franchise, and you finally get to this moment where you're like, oh, these are going to be the great movies. These are the best part. This is the build-up.
Yeah, exactly.
This is it. They're going to finish it out. They're going to see it through.
Yeah, they're blowing their load right now.
Yeah, they're literally ejaculating on the faces of America with these performances.
I saw an interview of Chris Evans, like when he got, it was like when first Avenger, Captain America movie was coming out, and they were talking to him about like accepting the role, like when he got the part stuff, and he's like, honestly, it's like pretty fucking daunting, because if it does well, then I'm not gonna be like alone anymore. Like fucking everyone's gonna be watching me all the time, and I'm gonna be like in the limelight. Like if it does really well, yeah, like that's gonna be my life, and that's not cool. Like he's like saying like he's like, I'm not really about that. Don't really want to do that. And like Fantastic Four is not. He like mentions Fantastic Four. He's like,
this is Chris Evans.
Yeah, he's like, you know, I'm not Human Torch anymore or anything. Like that's done. And like, if like this is probably gonna do like he like this like I think this is gonna do well, and like I don't really want to. He said it was hard for him to accept the role, like because he
knew it was
probably gonna be big.
He's also a super good guy. Seeing his like post fame work and like the way he treats people on the internet and just the way he like gives money and stuff, and like he's not like, and the way he treats fans.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge indicator. It's like having a good waiter or something. It's like the way an actor treats their fans really says a lot about them, and he's super kind.
Yeah.
He's like Ryan Reynolds in that way.
Which is funny to make that comparison, because I was just thinking back when he was like Human Torch, I always thought of Chris Evans as some like shit little nobody who is just a shithead, like Ryan Reynolds, like Van Wilder, because I remember fucking hating Van Wilder.
Well, it's funny
and but watched it all the time.
Well, and it was funny at the time when we were children. It's not funny now. And it introduced Ryan Reynolds to the world, and then Chris Evans was in Not Another Teen Movie, which actually holds up.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. That's probably more so even like why.
Yeah.
I just thought like that.
Yeah. Well, they both played like shitheads and like in like comedies,
in like teen comedies.
Comedies about teen comedies. You know, they were both postmodern teen comedies.
Yeah.
But I'd say Van Wilder is the lesser one. I think Not Another Teen Movie holds up. Which I haven't seen in years, and it would be a pretty funny movie to do for the podcast.
That would be a pretty funny movie to do. I agree.
So I've seen it several times, but it's been since it was on Comedy Central when I was in high school.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah, that is interesting. They're like I enjoy both of them a good bit now. I like them as people.
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
From what I know.
Well, I like their movies for the most part. I mean, they both. Well, Chris Evans hasn't taken a shit role. I mean, he's been playing Captain America essentially for 10 years.
Yeah.
8 years. Ryan Reynolds has done a bunch of different stuff over the last 8 years, and he's right now settling into Deadpool, which I didn't love the first Deadpool, but I thought it was entertaining. And I think the second Deadpool looks super entertaining. The second Deadpool looks like the trailer. What I wanted.
At least the trailer makes it look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks very fun. And the first one was fun. I think that the second one is going to be the fun that I wanted out of the first one. I think the second one might be the movie for the Deadpool for Deadpool. But Ryan Reynolds has done a shitload of stuff since then. Like between when we thought of him as a shithead.
I love Just Friends. That movie, Just Friends.
Just Friends is hilarious.
Fucking could watch that
right now,
like all the fucking time. I love that movie.
Jordan's favorite comedy.
Really? Of all time? Comedy? Like just comedy?
No, I don't know if it's of all time. Like I'm not saying of all time.
You just said favorite.
We've been drinking a bottle of wine tonight. I am over exaggerating her interest in the movie probably a little bit, but she loves the movie.
Yeah,
and we watch it every year. She references it every Christmas.
Yeah,
it
is a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
and it's so pretty funny, dude. I love it. I always think about forgiveness. It's more than saying sorry. I fucking love that shit so much.
Anna Faris shines in that movie.
Yeah, she does. That's like one of her best things she's ever done too. That shit's so funny.
For sure.
That and like Scary Movie 2.
Scary
or what? What is she in? Scary Movie 3? No, she's in both.
She's in
all of them,
first
right?
4.
Yeah, that's crazy. I haven't seen Scary Movie 1 in a long time.
Scary Movie 1 and 2 are great.
Yeah.
You know, she stopped doing Scary Movie because they told her she was getting too old.
Really?
Yeah. And she has a podcast now, and she actually did a crossover episode with My Favorite Murder.
Oh.
They did like a couple crossovers together. It's like it's like they're on her podcast and she's on her on their podcast. So there's like 2 episodes to listen to, and she talks about it in one of those, where like why she got fired from Scary Movie, and it was because she was just getting too old, quote unquote, even though she is the best part of the Scary Movie.
Yeah, just how she acts.
Yeah,
so
and she's the recurring
funny
character, and she's so funny, and like and so they like basically replaced her because she was getting quote unquote too old, and she's like railing against the sexism of it and stuff, because I guess there's a male character that's in all of them and continued to be in them.
How many are there? Is there 5?
There's like 7 now.
But, really?
Yeah, like 6 or 7 of them.
What?
They stopped doing them, obviously, eventually. But I know they did a 5, and then didn't have Anna Faris, and I think they did 2 more after that. And the
Don't
seventh
remember
one was
seeing.
like a straight to DVD kind
Oh,
of thing.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, that went downhill.
I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure there's no more. I know there's no more than 7. I think that there's a 6 and a 7.
3 was like, it wasn't good, but it had some moments.
It had some
Leslie Nielsen was in it, pissing out of his finger.
Yeah, he was.
It was so
They
funny.
were doing a Signs, 8 Mile. They were doing. They were doing all the Michael Jackson jokes. They were doing.
Oh
Saw.
my God! Yeah, they were.
The Scary Movie 3 was hilarious, and it was like Signs and 8 Mile were the ones that were mixed. And they were doing The Ring. That was also The Ring and The Grudge,
For
all
sure.
in that one.
No, The Grudge was in Scary Movie 4.
Was that 4?
Yeah,
And then War
because
of the
they were being
Worlds
like
was 4.
Toshiba, Mitsubishi.
Yeah, and it had like Bill Pullman or somebody in it. Yeah. And 4 was War of the Worlds because it had Dr. Phil and Shaq in the Saw situation.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
That was 4 for sure.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
But 3 was The Ring, and 3 was 8 Mile and Signs,
Yeah.
and Michael Jackson jokes and stuff like that.
Yes, so fucking funny.
I love that 8 Mile's part of it, because 8 Mile's not a horror movie, but it is the fabric of the Scary Movie 3.
Yeah.
It is in the fabric.
They
of
don't
it.
need to like.
It became like a
not
parody
every single
movie.
reference has to be like the Scary Movie.
No, but the first 2 were straight up like references. Like the first
I mean they
one,
reference a lot of different stuff though. They reference like fucking like basketball like shoes commercials and shit.
Oh yeah,
like,
they reference a lot of stuff. But the first movie was like I Know What You Did Last Summer, and the second movie was The Exorcist, and then they brought shit in.
Dude, the second movie's so fucking funny.
So funny
with fucking
Chris Elliott. My germs.
yeah, he's the fucking best part. But also David Cross in
Yeah.
it. Like I was just like I like thought about it the other day. I was like, oh yeah,
He's in the
David
wheelchair.
Cross is in fucking Scary Movie too. Like
He's
what
in
the
the-
fuck? Yeah, he's like a huge dick.
Yeah.
Huge dick nerd.
Is he in the wheelchair? Is that a...
Yes, yeah, he's like I can do it myself. Like
That's
sucks
right.
his own dick. It's very uncomfortable.
Because him in Scary Movie 2 reminds me of him in the plot arc in Arrested Development when he's getting the hair transplant and he gets really fucking sick and his scalp is just bleeding all the time and he's in the fucking wheelchair and he's like and they're throwing the fundraiser for him in the prison and then
I'm honestly so impressed by him in that show.
that show's so funny.
He is like super impressive in
He's
that show.
so funny and
Like I just feel like Tobias is so real.
he's like one of the best parts of I mean there's so many good things that work in that show but he is so integral to
Yeah.
how that show works.
He wasn't even in that first episode of the 4th season we watched the other night
He was for a minute.
for like 2 secs.
For a minute. But like he's in so much more of it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
The remix is actually really funny. I mean, I think I prefer the original version they did of it, but the remix it's great. It really gets you back into Arrested Development, kind of like the way it's done.
Okay, so back to Avengers. Also the part when the Avengers so they've split up into different teams and they go to nowhere because they've heard that Thanos is going there.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go try to fucking
I do want to say
some
that
shit.
when they introduced Nowhere, I thought they meant like I knew they were talking about a planet in the context, but I didn't realize it was going to be KNOWHERE.
Yeah. Well, that's in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
I forgot about it.
Yeah. So that's where the Collector is and like all that shit.
Yeah.
But so they go to nowhere and they're like sneaking through because fucking Thanos is like grilling the fucking Collector about where the fucking reality gem is, I believe.
Yeah.
Reality stone.
It was the Reality Stone. Yeah.
Yeah. And you realize this, that he already has it because he had already changed reality. And that is one of my favorite fucking parts when he Drax literally goes after him and he just turns Drax into fucking cubes.
Yeah.
Cubes' ass, and then also Mantis like turns her into fucking like
spirals.
spiraling
Strings,
string, and like those are straight up out of comic book panels in the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Like
crazy.
straight
I
up the
didn't know that.
cubes and the like strings.
I didn't know
like
that.
the ribbon.
It looked so good.
It looked amazing.
It was such a mind fuck when he uses the reality stone in that way, and you don't realize that he's already using it until Benicio del Toro starts trying to warn them in that reality, like you're not in the real reality, which is crazy. I don't know what that implies about the collector and what happened to him, because we don't really see what happened to him. And he's like warning them actively at the end of the reality stone thing, and they've like come up with a plan, and Gamora's ignored it, and she kills Thanos
Yeah, which is crazy. They're just like, well, that was quick.
Yeah, and it's like, and I believed it. Like I was fooled. I mean,
Yeah, you're like, how's this gonna go? Like,
yeah, and then the reality stone works, and I'm like, this is some Legion level shit.
Yeah. Well, it's so cool, like how they did it too. How the background just peels away, like almost burns away.
Yeah,
it looks so fucking good.
So I'm thinking, like, how insane would some of these battles be where he's got all these heroes, right? Like in the Wakanda at the end with Black Panther and Captain America and fucking everybody else. And then he's able to come down and he's using the Power Stone on somebody, and then uses the Reality Stone on another person at the same time and changes the reality, and then has them attacking like people, or just like, and then like, what would it be like if we're seeing their reality, and how like he can change reality? And I just started getting into Legion headset, like mindset, and like thinking like the way Farouk manipulates reality in that show, and the way they really play with it in a philosophical way and a visual way and stuff, and how the Reality Stone really sets this whole movie up, which I know they're never going to do, because mass audiences aren't gonna be cool with some psychedelic, crazy psychological shit. But he can do that.
Oh
with
yeah,
the Reality
for sure.
Stone. That's something that like could become part of the lore in like an offshoot or a third party thing, or like a spin-off or whatever, where somebody gets the Reality Stone, and we could have some Legion shit. I don't know.
I don't know how far they're gonna go with
it.
it, in the next movie or anything, but
because once he has the whole gauntlet, he doesn't use the Reality Stone that much. He mostly, and I don't know how it's going to play on the second movie, because we'll get into that in a minute, like theories and stuff. But he snaps his fingers, and all the stones work together to eliminate half Earth, half the population of the universe. So obviously, he uses everything, but like he actively uses the Time Stone. He actively uses the Power Stone. He
uses them all.
He uses he uses the Reality Stone in that one instance, but I'm talking in the final battle. He uses the Time Stone. He uses the Power Stone. He uses the Soul Stone by like evaporating everyone, but he doesn't necessarily use the Reality Stone once he has everything, or the Mind Stone. It just completes the gauntlet, and he's able to do it.
Well, exactly. That's the whole point that he's trying to get to. And once he did it,
but he can obviously
thing gets fucking fried.
Yeah, but he can obviously use all of the stones all at once,
for sure,
or use them individually.
Yeah, it's just a device of the film. You gotta you can't be. Jordan's like laughing inside.
Yeah, he's laughed at something.
You gotta cut some scenes.
Well,
you can't do all the coolest shit ever. But
I get that, and but in the spirit of conversation, I'm talking how interesting.
It could be incredible, and insane, and
it's not going to go there. But like for fun, like obviously the gauntlet is going to get dismantled in some fashion. I'm assuming at the end of the Infinity War thing, they're going to defeat Thanos in some way. I'm just going to make that assumption based on superhero movies in context and stuff. Not saying that this movie is actually going to do that. They do not necessarily set it up that way, and then there's no reason for me to assume that except for just everything else.
Yeah.
So, in theory, they dismantle the Power Gauntlet or whatever, and they disperse the stones.
It's the Infinity Gauntlet, actually. Can't say Power Gauntlet.
Okay, thank you for the correction. The immediate correction. The Infinity Gauntlet. They dismantled the Infinity Gauntlet. They dismantled the Infinity Stones and dispersed them or whatever. Let's say they don't destroy them. They may destroy them all. But let's say they don't. there's a third party thing where, like, obviously we've seen the time stone in play in Doctor Strange and stuff. I want to see the reality stone in play.
Yeah.
In a movie. Like, who do you think would get the reality stone, and what superhero would benefit the most from having the reality stone as the story to make it the trippiest?
Yeah, and someone who can actually wield it as well.
Well, yeah.
What is actually kind of in the mix of happening is, so his Infinity Gauntlet is like kind of fried. And I think all the stones are fine, but he might have to get a new gauntlet.
Is that a thing? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, you didn't notice when he snaps his fingers, he like looks distressed and he looks at his gauntlet and it's like fucking like charred.
I didn't notice.
It like looks like it's like melted. And that's why he just like fucking gets out of there.
I didn't notice, no.
Oh yeah, he gets out of there with like the time stone and just fucking leaves. And then that's when everyone starts
to disappear.
Disappearing. And it's like the way they fucking did that from like him just disappearing and then it's just quiet.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, what? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And that's fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The way they did that is so amazing. God, I felt it so hard.
It was awesome.
Whew. God, I love that. But so on, I can't even remember, the mining planet or wherever the fuck that
they
shit
were on
was.
Titan.
Well, what I'm talking about when they go meet Peter Dinklage. He's the one who made the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So they could just go back and make another Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So maybe that's going to be the thing. Maybe that's too boring. Hopefully it's too boring and they're going to do something else.
Yeah. Hopefully.
But what I'm thinking is there's going to be another Infinity Gauntlet or some sort of way to wield these, and Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. are going to wield it.
Yeah.
At some point and fix this mess.
I honestly think it's going to be Chris Evans.
And
I
honestly think that the fucking stones are going to get destroyed.
Yeah. I think that they probably will.
I think they will, because I don't think that they.
I
think they're over that arc.
I think that that's how Gamora is going to come back. Is they're going to destroy the Soul Stone, and they're going to have to trade the Soul Stone for a soul, and they're going to get Gamora back.
Well, it's actually more like more death. It's going to happen, probably.
Well, I'm sure more death is going to happen.
I don't know how they're going to get fucking Gamora back. I don't know how trading lives works in that respect.
Yeah. Well, and they introduced new rules. Like, they introduced the soul for a soul thing in this movie.
Well, they introduced the Soul Stone in general.
Yeah, at all. And then they did it in such a good way that it didn't feel cheap at all.
Yeah.
Like they
fucking brought back Red Skull to distract you.
Well, and then
incredible.
And then they hit you with the emotional impact of Gamora and Thanos.
Okay, so the first time I watched this movie, honestly didn't feel too much. I honestly thought it was kind of fucking. I thought it was done a little clunky, and like I really didn't feel what Thanos was doing.
I felt it.
On the second time around, I felt it a little more for sure.
I felt it. And I haven't been keeping up with the movies. I just meant like within this context of this movie, I felt it.
Yeah, for sure. It's just so incredible how Gamora is just like, you don't fucking love anything. God,
and she's laughing.
And she's like laughing.
She thinks he's failed because he doesn't have anything.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh my god, are you really crying, you fucking loser?"
She thinks he's
and
crying.
then Red Skull says, "His tears are not for himself," or something like that, or his tears are for you.
His tears aren't for him.
Yeah,
or, essentially, he's not crying for himself.
Yeah,
he's crying because.
And that was a great line.
Oh, it was fantastic.
And that guy does a fucking excellent Hugo Weaving impression.
Fucking great.
Like, I didn't even know it wasn't Hugo Weaving until after the film.
Yeah, look, it was
I
great.
heard about it and I was like, oh, I fucking loved that shit. I knew Red Skull was coming back at some point.
I just didn't know in this context, and I want to know how he got there, which we'll never get, and it's probably better.
Well,
we don't know.
They kind of explain it, yeah.
Well, he says that I came searching for this, but it doesn't really explain like how he went from being a Nazi to getting off the planet.
Yeah, it does in the first Avenger, and he even says it in this movie. He fucking tries to wield the what is it? It's it's not the Power Stone. Which one is it? It's the Tesseract.
Oh, from
It's
Thor?
the fucking Space Stone. Yeah. Well, from a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, in fucking Captain America, they have the Tesseract as well.
I didn't realize that.
And he gets fucking, at the end of the film, he gets fucking sucked into it. He doesn't die. He gets sucked into the fucking
Tesseract.
Time Stone.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets there.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And they say that he says it again in the movie, like how he got there.
Oh, I just didn't hear it. I thought he hadn't said. I didn't realize he said. I thought he like briefly explained like he went looking for the stone, looking for power, and all this stuff. And
No, that would have been
now
crazy.
he's doomed. And
That'd have been absolutely insane. How the fuck did he do that?
yeah, yeah.
No, but the reason everyone's always been thinking that he's coming back is because he never died in the film. It's just like, oh, he just got sucked into a different dimension. Where the fuck is he?
And he's in.
Bring him back.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it is great.
We should talk about how Spider-Man fucking died.
All right, let's talk about how Spider-Man died.
It was so sad.
Okay, let's just talk about the end in general, honestly. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so after that, like once Vision is turned into fucking Gray Man,
Yeah.
and he gets all the stones. Also, that part impeccable. Like, I really liked that part where she destroys the fucking Mind Stone.
Who?
Scarlet Witch destroys
Yes.
the Mind Stone, and then he's just like, what does Thanos say? He says something like, not this time.
Yeah.
This isn't a time at all. Like something like that.
Yeah.
He says this isn't a time at all. And then he just reverses time and then fucking plucks that shit from Vision's head.
And kills Vision. Like,
Kills
brutally.
fucking Vision. It's amazing. I loved that shit.
was
And
so
then
good.
fucking snaps his fingers.
Well, it's after Thor comes in. And
Oh yeah,
and
Thor
kills
too.
him.
Thor is fucking amazing in this film.
Once Thor Thor's awesome in this film the whole time, but once Thor gets his new axe hammer,
Yeah.
he's badass in this film.
He is Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker. Does it have a name? Stormbreaker. That's kind of stupid. That's what Rocket says.
Yeah. But anyway, fucking he snaps his fingers, gets out of there. It's so quiet. And I can't remember exactly who's the first to go. I think maybe Bucky. Bucky like disappears in front of Cap or some shit.
Bucky and then Black Panther.
Black Panther, that was like the first
That's
one
when
that
I
was
hit
just like,
it.
oh wait, whoa.
Yeah, he goes, get up. This is no place to die.
And then he disappears.
And the wind just blows. That's all you hear is the wind blow. There's no music. This is no place to die. And then I don't know the actress's name, but the general or whatever, her face of horror as he disappears, it's so unsettling. It sets the whole mood for the rest of everything, of everybody disappearing. It was perfectly placed, like edited into the beginning of this.
Yeah, it's absolutely
because it
insane.
just sets this tone. You're like, oh fuck.
And then
Yeah.
Groot as well, being like, I am Groot, and disappearing. And Rocket Raccoon, just like,
It's like,
Rocket
no,
Raccoon
no.
always pulls at my heartstrings, honestly.
great, yeah.
Like,
He does a great job. of
God,
pulling
I love
your
it so
heartstrings.
much. He's so fucking good.
Is that Bradley Cooper?
Yes, it's Bradley Cooper.
Does it not sound like Bradley Cooper?
I know. I think I've tried to look up him doing it, and I've like when he did it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Is he doing a voice, or are they doing something to his voice, or is it both?
I think both, but for the most part, it's just straight up him. Like,
That's crazy.
he's doing that for sure.
It doesn't sound like him at all. He's doing a good job.
He is doing a very good job.
You're really playing a character.
Yeah, he's doing a very fucking good job. I like it. But so, does Hulk disappear? I don't even fucking know.
No.
I don't think he does. So we on Titan,
Scarlet Witch disappears.
I believe so. Yeah, Scarlet Witch disappears.
Yeah.
She might be the first to go, actually.
Yeah.
On Titan, we see a lot of people disappear.
Yeah, quite a few.
That's fucking crazy. So
you see
the callback to the part with Doctor Strange like saying how many versions of the future that he's seen and how there's only one good outcome, and him just being like, it was the only way.
Yeah.
Giving the fucking time stone up.
Yeah. He's like, now
And
we're
he says
in the
that
end
he
game.
says that to Tony like as he's disappearing. I'm pretty sure he's just like, it was the only way, and like disappears, and you're like, oh fuck. And then fucking Drax, you get an emotional part out of Drax too. Like,
Yeah.
he's just like, Peter, and just fucking disappears. Like, that's fucking crazy. Holy shit.
And then Peter disappears.
Peter disappears too.
And then Mantis is like, what's wrong? I feel weird. And then she starts to disappear and disappears. And then fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man going, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
And he's like, starts hugging him. And like, what's going on, Mr. Stark?
I don't want to go.
feel good.
I don't want to go now.
I don't want to go now.
Fucking insane. So good.
It hurts.
He does such a fucking good job, and the relationship that they've established with those two over these three
He's like
films
father
as
figure.
well. They've done a very good job.
Yep,
You fucking feel that shit,
for sure.
and you didn't know that you were being set up. So hard.
They did it. They
did
to
it
you.
pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then fucking Tony Stark's left on that planet with
Nebula. Yep.
And okay, so
And he just literally goes, okay. Like, that's all he says. And it's just like him, like, fucking dealing with this shit. And he's on a fucking different planet. And he was supposed to get married.
yeah,
And he doesn't break down and cry, which I'm happy they didn't make him do that. But, like, I would.
but we don't know if Pepper Potts disappeared or not.
Yeah, that's true.
He could get back and Pepper's gone.
Fuck.
And then he has
I
to
didn't even
save
think
Pepper.
about that. Did not even think about that.
And like, how crazy would it be? He saves Pepper and he dies. Now Pepper's alive, but he's not.
Fuck, that
He
would
can't come back.
happen. Just so Pepper Potts can hold over his head the rest of his fucking death.
You said you were gonna give it up. You know, I think it's okay if you stick herbal medicine up your pussy.
What? What are you talking about?
Gwyneth Paltrow. She's like in a lot of trouble right now because her lifestyle blog is suggesting like women stick this like weird shit up their vaginas to like cleanse themselves, and it's like really fucking bad for you. But it's like this homeopathic or herbal thing, and that's all what she's about. And she's super out of touch, and people are like listening to her and like having serious health problems.
Oh, Gwyneth.
Gwyneth is an idiot.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
You should look up Gwyneth's tweets and lifestyle blog because they're hilarious to read. She is the most out of touch person ever.
That sucks. I really like her look.
Yeah, she looks great. I used to have a crush on her when I was a child. When I saw her, I remember the first time I was like, I want Gwyneth Paltrow. I want
Like
a
that?
I want a Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm like a moron. Like a stunned moron. I want a Gwyneth Paltrow. But then I read things that she said, and I said, never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Well, right on. Thanks for being in the movie, Gwyneth.
Thanks for getting paid and now hurting people with your bullshit.
Oh my god. So that's kind of where we're at, and
This is where we're at, guys. They're gone. They're gone, and they're not coming back until next year.
People got very fucking upset. You were even talking about this.
Yeah.
And I heard like of so many people, even like I was talking to my mother about it, who has not seen the film, but she heard about the end of the film and how many people were very upset with it, like her coworkers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, Mom, it's incredible. You have to see it.
Yeah.
It's really good. There's a part 2. Like, don't worry. There are forces at work here that we know about that can reverse this.
Yeah.
It happens in the film.
It's also a film.
It's also a film, which is the number one thing where I'm like, we were talking about how like they think that we're out of touch for not being like
So emotional.
sensitive like about it, but we think they're out of touch because it's a fucking movie. And like
there's no reasoning.
you go on that roller coaster when you're watching the movie, but then when you're done, you
realize Tom Holland is alive. He's in England. He is traveling around living a life right now. He's doing great.
He's dancing to Umbrella by Rihanna.
Zoe Saldana is having a great time getting her name put on a Hollywood star, enjoying life with her family. She's not dead. Fucking Tom Hiddleston, he's having a great time. He's fucking models.
He's actually dead.
Tom Hiddleston died. I'm gonna be so upset if we release this and
Tom Hiddleston's dead.
Some freak accident. I'm like, no, Tom Hiddleston was a genius.
We made him die.
No, so
no, he's not dead.
People are a little sensitive about this movie.
Yeah,
and,
but I don't think they don't like it. I think
it's because they like it so much that they got so into it that they felt it when Tom Holland was begging Robert Downey Jr. to save his life. But I can't help but look at it and go, that's not Spider-Man begging Tony Stark. That's Tom Holland begging Robert Downey Jr. At the end of the day, in the movie, that's what I feel. Then I walk out of the movie and I go, that was crazy. I felt this. That's two actors.
Well, yeah. In the moment of the movie, I think of it in the context of the movie, of course,
exactly.
for sure. But afterwards, then it's like, it's all fucking production. Like, I'm just like, okay, like, this is fucking insane. This is incredible. Like, he's such a good actor. Like,
it's like going to see a good play. It's like in the old days. You're going to see a great movie. It's all a production. It's all done for you to feel that way in the moment. And then you walk out and go, okay.
Let's talk about it.
Let's have a good time. So it disturbed me a little bit having conversations with some people that I work with and some people that I know that were so upset that certain things played out the way that they did and certain characters disappeared in the halfway point of this arc. And it disturbed me that they were so connected to this that they couldn't distinguish it necessarily. Like this. You do realize they're okay though. Like they're okay. There's going to be another movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why are you upset?
What are you upset about? There's just going to be another movie. Things are going to change.
Yeah, it's
going to be fine.
It's very exciting.
It should be a joyous occasion.
Yeah, it puts a smile on my face.
Yeah,
it put a smile on my face. Fan-fucking-tastic movie and pretty like movie, dark and
it dealt with things like genocide and the effects of genocide and
like
Stockholm syndrome and
also plays with the like factor of it maybe being a good thing, like when he's on Gamora's planet at the end and it's really, like this lush place.
Yeah, they really do a good job of making the villain's point of view seem not completely like insane. I'm trying to not like the comic book villain of like, I want to rule the world or I want to destroy the world and I don't care what gets in my way. It's like a character that's going, I want to balance the universe.
Yeah.
I want everything to be good for everybody, but the only way to do that is to eliminate half the population. And so I don't want to have to hurt people anymore.
Yeah, and he calls it mercy because they're gone just like that.
Yeah, they're not in pain. They don't exist. And it's like, in a way, you're like, that kind of is like philosophically a beautiful concept. It's fucked up. And it has like obviously fucked up consequences, but it puts you in a place where you're rooting for the heroes, but you kind of like the villain. And you
understand the villain.
You understand the villain.
Yeah.
His motivations are understandable and
also like
out there.
With the snap of his fingers, I mean, there was a little bit of time there where they were all kind of disinterfering, watching each other.
Yeah.
So pretty horrific shit.
It was a little horrific for the people who are still there. Yeah.
Well, even the people who were disappearing.
Yeah, they were like
Tom Holland looked pretty fucking horrified.
Yeah, but
also that's attributed to his spider sense. Apparently.
Yeah, that was going to say.
Inside source told me.
his spider sense sensed it, and so he was feeling it. And the same with Mantis. Mantis is like so connected to that kind of like emotional plane. She feels it before it happens, but everybody else it just starts happening to, and they're like, "What?" But for Tim, he's like, "Oh, I feel weird." He like feels himself falling out of existence. And Mantis too was also like, "Something's wrong."
Yeah.
And then things start happening. She's like, "No." And they're the two who can like have that
damn
sixth
good
sense.
Mantis impression.
Something's wrong.
No.
She doesn't have many lines.
She's got great ones. I had noticed this time around when they first introduced the Guardians and they're going to this distress signal, which is Asgard, like the ship being fucking blown to shit. They go there like, this is gonna be crazy. Everyone put on your mean faces. And in the background, you can see Mantis like literally putting on a mean face. She's so fucking funny. Like she literally like puts her teeth out and like mashes them. Like it's so fucking good.
That's cute.
Oh, it's super cute.
But she was always just like super cute. That character, anyways, like her mannerisms.
Yeah.
Are just like she's naive.
Her and
she's
Drax
cute.
together. I love them. When Drax is eating, and they're like, "How long have you been here?" An hour.
An hour.
Like, really?
I've mastered my movements to be imperceptible. I'm so still.
We can see you moving. Yes, but it's very slow. And then Mantis just comes in. Hi, Drax. He's like,
Dang it.
There was like legit good comedy. There was the only lines that I really didn't like, comedies wise, were the Ben and Jerry's lines when they were in the I was gonna say Fleet Street. I can't remember the fucking street that Doctor Strange lives on, his address, but he has one of those as well. He's like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
And he actually is.
Yeah. Oh, he actually is Sherlock Holmes in another medium.
And so is Robert Downey Jr.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's
I didn't
crazy.
even think about that.
And what's his face is fucking Holmes. I mean not Holmes. Fucking Watson.
Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman. He's in that universe too.
Yeah. That's funny as fuck. Well, there's just like some of the best British actors.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
There's just some of the best actors that are even they transcend just being a nationality.
yeah, when they're talking about like Hulka burn and fudge or whatever, like the delivery of it itself is just like a throwaway.
Yeah.
Like they literally just say it and it's like, okay, let's get through this fucking joke.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
I hope that's not going to be, because that's kind of towards the beginning of the movie.
It's right at the beginning.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh man, please no. And that was like the only time that I felt that. Everything
right at
else,
the
I was like,
beginning.
okay, cool.
It was like they were like breaking the mold of the older movies.
It was just Mark Ruffalo being there, ruining everything.
Yeah. Kind of. He kind of ruined the scenes he was in.
Like Mark Ruffalo, like when he first sees Tony, he's just like, "Oh, Tony, you wouldn't believe it. Thanos is coming. It's gonna be so bad, Tony." Like you're just like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? Yeah. These lines are not supposed to be said like this.
He's a scientist and he's been in other dimensions and he's now back.
When he starts explaining things, like everything that he says, like a good actor would not make it sound like exposition.
Yeah.
But he literally just makes it sound like exposition.
It just is.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, fuck.
There's a little ladybug on me.
Hey.
Come here, little ladybug.
But DC sucks.
Yeah, so DC's terrible, and we watched the DC fucking animated movie afterwards.
And honestly, I didn't like watching it with you.
With me?
And it's because you make me think more about the things that I'm watching. And that sort of DC animated series is more of a mindless thing that I watch.
That particular one is.
And watching them with you and Jordan is like, oh fuck. I'm like, damn it, I just ruined this film for myself.
I enjoyed it. I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it. I don't want you to feel like you can't watch that shit with me.
No, it's just that feeling that I can't fucking, it's just like I fucking hate this feeling when I have it. Just like fucking, you're like watching this shit, like wondering what the fuck they're thinking. You're trying to get in your friend's brain while you're fucking watching some shit.
I get that feeling sometimes when I watch stuff with you, and I'm just like, oh, I hope he likes this. Oh, I can feel he doesn't like it. You can feel it next to you. You're like, oh, he doesn't care for this movie, or he doesn't care for this video. It's not. I laughed here. He didn't laugh here. Yeah. No, I mean, that happens to everybody.
Yeah, it happens.
It's just a thing. You hated The Guest, and I didn't even get to watch that with you, and I feel like if I watched that with you, it would have been like, really? Oh god.
Yeah, it happens. But I don't even think you hated it. I was just like, oh man, this isn't panning out exactly how I wanted it to feel.
This isn't the same. I want to watch the fucking Batman's like anime samurai thing.
Yeah, I still haven't finished it because I've had such hard times finding good subtitles.
Yeah. Let's talk about, because this episode's coming out before Society. So let's talk about how our next episode's going to have a guest on it that is going to be kind of an experimental guest.
Yeah, experimental guest. Our friend Dan, who we love ever so much and we went to film school with.
Yeah.
Met him in film school. I literally remember him like in our Foundations of Production class, just having like.
He wasn't in. I met him in Directing 1.
Okay, he was in some other class.
He was in another class with us.
He was in another class with me for sure. I don't know if it was both of us. I'm not sure, but
he might have been in a separate
just
class
like
because I had him in a class
with long
before.
hair.
Yeah, he had long black hair at the time. But I had him in class before I had him in Directing 1.
Black hair? He never had black hair.
Yeah, it was dark brown, super dark brown. It was long dark. I have pictures from the time period, and I
remember his brown hair.
His long brown hair, long
fucking black hair.
In the pictures I have, it looks black. It was night, but it looks black.
Oh my god!
It's my 20th birthday. You're in those pictures too.
Yeah, I remember those. Good times.
Yeah, 6 years ago.
Jesus. But Society, I mean, honestly, just go watch that fucking movie.
So good.
Go watch that movie and then listen to our episode. You've got a week. It's fan-fucking-tastic. If you're into body horror and films that Brian Yuzna is a part of, and also like Stuart Gordon stuff, like Reanimator, and Castle Freak. If you liked our Castle Freak episode and you haven't watched Castle Freak, go watch Castle Freak. Yeah. And if you like that, watch Society, or either one.
Watch Society first, because it's even better. It's like
Society's fantastic.
Yeah. Society's a legit good movie. But
yeah, it is pretty good.
We get into that all in that episode, and it's going to be fun. We got Dan. It's a fun episode. We're probably going to have him back again. And
we're gonna have him back in a smoother format because we had a couple
little hiccups,
but
far away.
I think it was good. It was a good time too.
By the time we have him on a regular basis, if we ever have him on a fully regular basis, we're gonna have a full studio. So hopefully,
we just put him up on a big screen TV.
Yeah, just throw him up there. Literally throw him
conference style. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be like War Room or War Games.
But just Dan dressed up as a general on the screen, barking orders at us,
just yelling through a monitor. That'll be a whole episode.
I would love that.
That would be funny.
Some nice little experiments I think are going to happen in there.
I think so. I think it's going to be a nice little studio. It's nice to know that I didn't even think about being able to use it. It's nice to know that we can fucking do that.
Yes. So, thanks for joining us along this. This is really fun tonight.
It was a good episode, yeah.
We're just outside hanging out.
Yeah, literally in my backyard.
I love it. Hope everything sounds good. I think it'll be okay.
I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be just fine. We're gonna have a little bit of background noise, so we apologize for some of the background noise, but it's not gonna be that bad.
But all right. If you guys would like to find us on Instagram, you can find us at Coming of Age Pod.
Or on Twitter at comingofagepod_.
Yep. Couldn't lock down the, first one, but we're coming for you.
Yeah. We're coming. You will hear of us eventually.
But find us wherever you're already finding us at, because you're listening to this.
You're listening to this. We thank you. We're obviously on Apple. We're on Stitcher. We're on SoundCloud. We're on YouTube. Obviously, your Apple and Stitcher are the main sources of this, so please find us on one of those.
Give us a review. Come on.
Yeah, please. Let us know what you think. Give us some movie suggestions, whatever you want. Give us a reason why you want us to watch that movie. Don't just type a title in, because I'm not going to watch just a title. I want to know why you think I should watch it.
Not even that much. Like, you just write a little bit after that. Like, it's got a fucking scene where a dude, like, fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, if it's something crazy, you're like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I want to see a scene like that. Yeah. And if we haven't seen it, we'll definitely put it on our list. If we have seen it and we've not thought about it, we'll put it on our list.
Have you heard about this movie Clown by Eli Roth? I don't think I ever heard about it.
No. Not heard about it.
I think it came out last year, or maybe no, I don't think it came out last year. It definitely didn't come out last year, because he made fucking Green Inferno last year. It came out a while ago. And I heard about it on this other podcast. They literally like watched the entire trailer on the podcast.
Really?
And it's like about this guy who wants to have a clown for his son's birthday. And like he can't find a clown, so he like goes, I don't know exactly. I didn't watch the trailer. But he like goes in the basement and finds like fucking clown nose or something, like dresses up as a clown. And then when he goes to take it off, like the clown nose won't come off.
Oh shit.
And it's like fucking attached to him. It's like one of those kind of things.
He like becomes a clown.
And like the outfit is like fucking possessed or whatever. It's like taking over him.
It's like a John Wayne Gacy possessed.
And like as they're watching it, like the people were like, I'm 100% watching this movie. And I was like, damn, we should probably go watch that trailer.
All right, I'll put it on after this.
Okay, cool.
We'll go watch it. Yeah, we'll throw that on the list. I think you're going to hear us do Society. You're going to hear this before Society, and then we're going to do all that jazz. So if you really want to catch up, you want to be 2 weeks ahead, those are our movies.
Yeah.
Then Clown, it sounds like we're probably going to do after that. So, if you really...
Maybe we'll do Clown.
Yeah, we might do that.
I don't know. But thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We really love you.
We love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Fuck you.